Good morning. I'd like to call the meeting to order. The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meeting of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of this act, the State Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place thereof posted in the Department of Education, Secretary of State's office, and notice has been given to the State House Press Corps, Governor's Office, and the State Board Agenda subscribers. As a quorum is present, the meeting will come to order. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Thank you. Motion moved and second. Whereas in order to protect the personal privacy and to avoid situations wherein the public's interest might not be disturbed, the Open Public Meetings Act permits public bodies to exclude the public from that portion of the meeting at which certain matters are discussed. Now, therefore, be it resolved that consistent with the provisions of NJSA 10:4-12B, the State Board of Education will now adjourn to executive session to discuss personnel and legal matters. May I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Thank you. Motion and second. At this point, we will be recessing into executive session. Thank you. Whereas consistent with the provision of NJSA 10-4-12B, the State Board of Education will now adjourn from executive session to resume the open public session of this meeting. Do I have a motion? Motion, second? Second. Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Board Member Tina, would you lead us in the pledge of allegiance this morning?
I pledge
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, welcome back. Good morning, and thank everyone for joining us today. I'd like to welcome those of you who are here in person with us in Trenton today. As the State Board of Education meeting is accessible to the public for viewing on the department's YouTube channel, I would like to advise that YouTube provides readily accessible language translation options for closed captioning. If you are viewing the simulcast now, you can use the settings option in YouTube for information about subtitles, auto translation, and closed captioning in multiple languages. At this point, I'd like to ask for approval of the minutes from January 8th, 2025's meeting. Second. Having a motion and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any abstentions?
I abstain.
Thank you. The State Board of Education will not receive public testimony as there are no educational topics for discussion. For the month of March, the State Board will receive public testimony on Chapter 8, Standards and Assessment. Elaine Barbaro, Mary Beth Berry, Claudine Keenan, and Ron Butcher are scheduled to sit for testimony for March. At this point, I'd like to move into the President's report. Start with introducing the State Board of Education student representative. We have with us once again Anna Paskowitz, a senior at Palmyra High School in Burlington County. Our advisors are Ms. Kelly Jones and Ms. Kim Martino. I believe Ms. Martino is here with her today. Thank you for joining us. Welcome, Anna. I understand that you have some remarks that you would like to share with us this morning, and we're ready for you to offer those remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, and good morning, everyone. Last month, the New Jersey Association of Student Councils, or NJASC, held their 99th annual Winter Conference, which was a huge success. The convention featured a keynote speaker, elections for next year's state officers, and workshops run by NJASC member schools. Over 100 middle and high schools from across the state attended, helping make this a great event for everyone. The convention began with award presentations, including middle level and high school student leader of the year, as well as recognition of the top 10 projects schools planned and carried out the previous year. Carlos Ojeda Jr., the keynote speaker, who is a former university administrator and CEO of CoolSpeak, a youth engagement company, spoke about life learned lessons. He also shared how kids can use their voice to empower themselves. One of the most memorable things he shared was the following. No matter how difficult things are, no matter how tough they may seem, no matter how big the obstacle in front of you may look, I need you to always remember, as we move into 2025, that you never ever fight back and you always fight forward. The crowd of over 1,600 students loved what he had to say, some even remarking that they were brought to tears over his words. The conclusion of the keynote signaled the beginning of a variety of workshop-based activities. About 30 schools hosted workshops throughout the day, discussing and presenting successful activities that the Student Council sponsored. Example of these workshops included presentations about public speaking, time management, mental health, Mr. High School, which is a beauty pageant featuring 12th grade boys, and how to host a family feud night. Student-led workshops push the idea of not only raising funds, but also creating a way to show some school spirit and form a sense of community. Students who weren't involved in running workshops attended one of their choosing. Many left feeling inspired to share ideas and start new traditions at their own school, which is the goal of the convention. While this was happening, elections were held for next year's state officer positions, which were chosen through an interview process at the NJASC's monthly meeting in December. The students running for office campaigned earlier in the day as schools arrived at the convention and came up with creative chants and handed out flyers to students. The candidates gave their speeches during session 1 at the convention, where student council presidents or a designee from each attending school were invited to cast a ballot. 3 sessions of workshops were held for students to rotate through, as well as eating lunch during one of the sessions. NJASC also hosted a luncheon and meeting for student council advisors from across the state, encouraging the networking and community spirit that the NJASC prides itself upon. Advisors were also updated about upcoming events for the remainder of the school year, such as an advisors workshop to be held in March, the Spring Awards Conference at Six Flags in May, and a leadership training conference to be held in July. The day concluded with a farewell address from outgoing NJASC President Nikhil Banga from Kingsway Regional High School, and then the winners of the election from earlier in the day were announced. Schools were proud to cheer on the winning candidates from North Jersey, who will represent them for the following year. I'm pleased to announce that next year's State Board Student Representative taking over my position in July will be Kaylin DeRose from East Brunswick High School. 8 other state officers were elected alongside her to keep NJASC running smoothly in the next year. Overall, the convention was a large success, reinforcing the values that the NJASC strives for, such as community, leadership, and service. The new state officers will officially take over next week at our transition meeting to be held at VCIT West Hampton campus. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. It's always interesting to hear your reports, and especially one like this where students are so actively engaged and involved in the process of representing their schools, and then convening across the state to share ideas about possible opportunities for planning events. So thank you once again for presenting that information. Any other board members like to add anything?
Yeah, just
Turn it on.
I actually have a pretty loud voice, but I really, I can't thank you enough for being here and being such a great representative. It's amazing how quickly, we were just talking, how quickly the time goes. But what an exciting time it is for her, thinking ahead of her next plans as a senior, but having that student voice, keeping in touch with what's really important is so valuable to our board, so we can't thank you enough. And can you share for us, I think you said you wanted to be a psych major, but where are you planning on going? Do you have plans?
Boston College.
Great. Well, good luck to you, and we're going to take every single valuable piece of information you can share with us, so thank you.
Acting Commissioner Hagan.
So thank you, and it's always good to see the incredible work of student council still continuing. It sounds like an amazing conference. I just want to let you know, as a former student council member, someday you might move first. So, keep it up and good luck with this.
Thank you. Anyone else? At this point, I'd like to continue with our next item, which is State Board Committee reports. And I guess I'll be introducing myself as the Instructional Policy Committee Chairperson. We met on January 27, 2025. I served as the chair. During the course of that meeting, we received an overview of the amendments that the department is proposing as part of readoption of Chapter 8 standards and assessment. We also discussed the department's goals for proposed amendments. Since this item is on today's agenda at first discussion, and the department will be presenting the proposal and goals, I will refrain from providing a longer. Thank you. Next, I would like to transition. Today, I would like to ask the state board members to consider a ceremonial resolution designating February as Career and Technical Education Month in New Jersey, as originally designated by the Association for Career and Technical Education. CTE Month is a time to recognize and celebrate the achievements and accomplishments of the entire CTE community. CTE offers our students across New Jersey a wealth of opportunities, including earning college credits, obtaining industry-recognized credentials, and engaging in work-based experiences. At this point, I would like to ask Member Meredith Berry to read the resolution.
Thank you. It's an honor to read this resolution. Resolution in recognition of Career and Technical Education Month in New Jersey. Whereas the month of February 2025 has been designated nationally as Career and Technical Education Month by the Association for Career and Technical Education. And whereas teachers, administrators, and school counselors involved in career and technical education help more than 143,000 secondary and post-secondary students in New Jersey pursue a range of career pathways. And whereas career and technical education programs incorporate a rigorous academic core coupled with high-level technical curriculum to deliver opportunities for students to earn college credit, industry-valued credentials, and work-based learning to be college and career ready. And whereas career and technical education prepares New Jerseyans for the jobs that exist today and equips them with the skills employers need in the future. And whereas the New Jersey Department of Education has continued to implement a variety of career and technical education initiatives, including the building capacity for career pathways, exports, industry career exploration, and expanding career pathways in artificial intelligence programs. And whereas career and technical education offers opportunities for student leadership experiences, supporting personal and professional growth through 7 state career and technical student organizations, currently serving 46,000 students in New Jersey through membership in Future Business, Leaders of America, FBLA, National FFA, formerly known as the Future Farmers Association, Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America, FCCLA, DECA, and Association for Marketing Students, Health Occupation Students of America, OSA, Technology Student Association, TSA, and Skills USA. Now therefore be resolved, State Department of Education and the Acting Commissioner of Education hereby recognize February 2025 as Career and Technical Education Month in New Jersey and the potential of career and technical education to fully prepare students for post-secondary success.
Thank you, Board Member Berry. At this point, I would ask for a motion for approval of the resolution. Second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion by Board Members. Okay. And who do we have the second from? Thank you, Board Member Pena. At this point, I would like to ask Dr. James Peterson, President of the New Jersey Council of County Vocational Technical Schools, to accept the resolution and make a few brief remarks. Also in attendance will be Ms. Jackie Burke, Executive Director of the New Jersey Council of County Vocational Technical Schools.
First of all, thank you, Ms. Berry. That was a lot that you got in there, and you got it all right, and thank you very much. Thank you, Vice President Johnson, members of the State Board of Education, Commissioner Deering, for this resolution in recognition of Career and Technical Education Month. It is an honor to accept the resolution on behalf of New Jersey's 21 county vocational technical school districts and the larger CTE community. The strong support of the State Board of Education members, who also serve as New Jersey's State Board of Career and Technical Education, is one of the reasons New Jersey's CTE programs are some of the best in the nation. These programs offer students the opportunity to learn in hands-on, real-world environment, taught by professionals from industry, giving them a head start on career success, whether they enter the workforce directly or continue their education at a post-secondary level. Today's CTE offerings are not the same as they were 30 years ago. Students have access to a wide range of programs that meet the economic needs of the state, from biotechnology to health science to sustainable construction. And thanks to the funding from the Securing Our Children's Future Bond Act, our schools are adding or expanding many programs in response to industry demand, including advanced manufacturing, welding, sports medicine, among many others, all with state-of-the-art equipment. This February, as we celebrate the CTE month, our districts are hosting special events and activities this entire month. We welcome all of you to come to any one of our 21 vocational school districts during this month or anytime you want to. And you can see some of the great things that our children are doing, and we're very, very proud. Thank you again for this honor, and I also want to make sure I also shout out to our Executive Director, Jackie Berg, and our Assistant Director, Ann Evans. Thank you very much.
Dr. Peterson, would you like to present the resolution? I'd like to ask, offer board members and Commissioner Damon opportunities to make comments.
Just to add to the celebration as well, I and many members of the board really want to thank career and technical education leaders in the state. The commissioner and President Goldenberg had a chance to visit. Actually, Superintendent Jorge Diaz here had a chance to visit his program in Middlesex County. And it's just really outstanding work that's occurring, certainly in Middlesex County, but across the state. And it's because of the leadership by Jorge that we have positioned New Jersey as being a leader in CTE programs. And so, and because of the work that's being done at the schools and the graduates that are going into the workforce, that New Jersey will continue to be a leader in economic prosperity for its residents. And so I just want to take a moment to applaud the entire CTE community for the outstanding work. And I asked to continue to send the invites because I really enjoy visiting the schools. And I think it's an eye-opening experience when you have the opportunity to sit in the classroom with students and looking at the programs and activities that they're engaged with, from robotics to theater arts and just so many different programs and exciting faces that the students have when they're presenting their work. So thank you for that, and just want to, again, just take a moment to acknowledge the leadership in the CTE community. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other board members?
Good morning. I'd like to thank Dr. Peterson and Ms. Burke and Dr. Peterson and the staff at Donald Payne Votech hosted me last year for a half day, and it was a wonderful experience. I spent time in the culinary arts department. I spent time in cosmetology. I spent time in the woodshop architecture department, and the facility is phenomenal. Students are learning with state-of-the-art equipment, and the staff could not have been more proud of showcasing what their students are doing. And I think that the CTE component takes the high school experience to a whole nother level. We know that there's a sequence of courses and credits and certs that students leave with, but they leave with an understanding of a career that they could go into with a baseline of knowledge. So we thank you and all of the staff that you work with across the state, and all that we are presenting to young people that can be an alternative to a higher ed training, or can just get them started as they figure out what they want to do next. So I thank you for being such a great host.
We're going to talk more about this, so I don't want to steal the thunder, but just two quick notes. First, I really appreciate the shout out for securing our Children's Future Bond Act. It's been a long time coming, and starting to see the fruits of that labor. It's really, really great. Also, you mentioned the culinary programs. That if you need extra enticement to go visit, you can't walk away without a stack of cookies. So I very much recommend it.
Sure. Just to piggyback on what's already been said, I get myself in trouble all the time for saying college is not for everyone. And I think CTE is such an amazing and wonderful opportunity for those students who may not, maybe right now, have higher ed in their line of sight. I also had the opportunity to be hosted by Superintendent Rodriguez at Middlesex Magnet schools, and I say it was amazing to me. What I took away was that it wasn't really a classroom. It was more like workshops that we went into. I particularly enjoyed looking at the one room where the construction department, where they built a house. That's remarkable to me. And then they would take it apart at the end and start all over again. So just offering those opportunities to students. I have lived it. My husband did go through a community college, and he is definitely a person who enjoys working with his hands. And for the first 7 years of our marriage, he made a lot more money than I did. Me with my million degrees. So yes, this is definitely a viable opportunity for our students, and I want to encourage that as much as possible. College debt, it's a nice thing. Thank you.
Board Member Barrett.
I'm going to piggyback on everyone else. To the students, to the staff, to the parents who were wise enough to think about career and technical education as being so important, a big thank you. Anytime you've ever visited one of the schools, such exciting work. You can feel it when you walk in the door. That's what education is supposed to be about. So I thank you all for your efforts, and this is well deserved. Keep it up. There's so much more that we can do. It's exciting to see the numbers of young people availing themselves to CTE programs growing every year. I want to see it continue, and thank you for your efforts.
Thank you. And I guess I'll get the last word as chair today. But I get a chance to get out and visit our technical education facilities. And I just really enjoy the love of learning that you see when those children, when those students are utilizing and putting into practice the skills and technologies that they have been able to garner. And same thing, I always am able to leave with something. They always invite you for lunch and serve you dessert, which is a good way to keep people coming back. So just continue to do the great work. My only hope is that, we can continue to expand opportunities. I know there are so many more students that would like to avail themselves of those programs and not always, space available. So keep up the great work. Thank you. At this point, we will be moving to Commissioner's report.
Thank you, Vice President. So this morning, we're going to continue this theme. Spend a little bit more time celebrating CTE month. Career and technical education plays a pivotal role in preparing our kids for successful careers, as you all just mentioned. And so right now, thank you for joining us, Dr. Gordon Schiff and Kat, who's our Director of Office of Career Readiness. And they're going to be joined by some special guests from Middlesex County Magnet School and Colson High School, who will share their stories. They're called Learn by Doing and Lead by Example. So I'm going to turn it over to them. It's a really great opportunity program to see just what's going on in these schools. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Good morning, Vice President Johnson and members of the State Board of Education. It is our pleasure to celebrate with you this morning Career and Technical Education Month.
It's on.
We also have a few other people that we would like to highlight who are present today, who are also leaders in the CTE program.
Thank you, Jordan. As already recognized, we would like to additionally recognize Dr. James Peterson, Superintendent, Essex County Technical Schools, Mr. Jorge Diaz, Superintendent, Middlesex County Magnet Schools, Mr. Robert Fulker, Principal, Woodbridge Academy Magnet School, Ms. Lee Neiman, she's the CTE Director at Middlesex County Magnet Schools, Ms. Allison Goki, the TSA State Director from the College of New Jersey, and as already mentioned, Ms. Jackie Burke, the Executive Director of the New Jersey Council of County Vocational Technical Schools. Thank you for joining us.
Career and Technical Education Month is a public awareness campaign that takes place annually in February to celebrate the value of CTE and the achievements and accomplishments of CTE programs across our country. CTE is an educational option that allows students to earn industry-vetted credentials, college credit, and workplace experience, all while meeting state high school graduation requirements. CTE educates students for a range of career options aligned to the career clusters and pathways. In New Jersey, there are over 77,000 secondary, over 57,000 post-secondary, over 4,000 adult vocational, and over 4,000 state agency students participating in CTE career pathways, while many align to New Jersey's industries of focus, which are construction and engineering and energy, leisure and hospitality, life sciences, finance, healthcare, technology, manufacturing, retail trade, and transportation distribution and logistics. New Jersey students who participate in high-quality CTE programs of study delivered through career pathways lead to careers in high-skill, high-wage, and in-demand industries.
Career and Technical Student Organizations, or CTSOs, are an integral component of quality CTE programs of study. New Jersey recognizes and supports 7 nationally affiliated CTSOs serving approximately 46,000 student leaders through membership in local chapters. CTSOs allow students to highlight their academic and occupational skills, link learning to real-world careers, interact with business or industry professionals, and become leaders. The CTSOs aligned with New Jersey CTE programs are Future Business Leaders of America, or FBLA, National FFA, which is formerly Future Farmers of America, Family Career and Community Leaders of America, FCCLA, Distributed Education Clubs of America, now known as DECA, Future Health Professionals, or HOSA, Technology Student Organization, or TSA, and finally Skills USA.
This year, the Office of Career Readiness has chosen the theme, Learning by Doing, Leading by Example, to highlight the extraordinary work of CTE programs of study and the students who participate in them. The office has put together a video of several students from across the 7 CTSOs to highlight how CTE has prepared them to be leaders.
Yes.
For 10 minutes to now cue the
Word.
Thank you.
All right. Hold on.
TSA has enabled me to use my voice to empower those around me in achieving feats of success in diverse. TSA has enabled me to use my voice to empower those around me in achieving feats of success in diverse fields of STEM. My journey through this organization at the school and state level has taught me that leadership is more than just guiding decisions, but is about amplifying voices and uplifting others.
Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America empower students by developing leadership skills through family and consumer sciences courses. Reaching beyond the classroom, FCCLA members engage in real-world CTE skills that boost confidence and prepare students for success with both personal and professional development.
Career and technical education has been instrumental in shaping me as a leader. Through DECA, I've gained hands-on experiences that go beyond the classroom, like organizing community initiatives, leading statewide events, and collaborating with diverse teams. CTE has taught me critical skills like communication, problem solving, and decision making, which I've applied to real-world challenges. But most importantly, it's given me the confidence to step up, inspire others, and create positive change in my community. I'm grateful for how CTE has prepared me to lead today and for the future.
Career and technical education prepares students to be leaders by equipping them with practical skills, critical thinking abilities, and real-world experiences.
Through CTE, I've learned how to create a strategic plan and lead a team, learned how important empathy is to success, and developed my own confidence to empower others. CTE has made me the leader I am today.
And so over time, CTE has taught me that leadership isn't just about standing tall and giving powerful speeches, but it's instead a personalized journey. Through HOSA, which is a career and technical student organization, I've learned to adapt, like when the microphone stopped working at a major conference. I've learned to communicate, like when I stood in front of my congressman's office in DC, unscripted but ready to speak from the heart. And most of all, I've learned to inspire. Simply put, CTE has shaped both the student and the leader that I am today.
As a career and technical education student in the Culinary Arts program at Mercer County Technical Schools, I have developed the professional, personal, and workplace skills needed to succeed in the industry. My leadership responsibilities as New Jersey Skills USA State Officer President have given me the opportunity to share my CTE experiences with students and the community, making a profound impact on my future as a career-ready leader.
I'm currently a senior at the Woodbridge Academy Magnet School, where I'm an active participant in the Allied Health and Biomedical Sciences program. The Career and Technical Education program I am part of has been a transformative experience. It has offered hands-on learning opportunities that have prepared me for a future in the healthcare field. Through the program, I've gained foundational knowledge in subjects such as anatomy, physiology, medical terminology, and patient care. More importantly, I've had the opportunity to apply this knowledge through practical experience as a certified EMT for my local squad. As state president of New Jersey HOSA, the CTSO, I have the privilege of representing thousands of students who share a common goal: to make a difference in the healthcare industry. HOSA is not just a student organization, it's a family that fosters leadership, collaboration, and a commitment to excellence. I began as a leader in 10th grade when I joined my local HOSA's office as the underclassmen representative. After taking inspiration from previous leaders serving as a state board, I then decided to run for president-elect of New Jersey HOSA and then president. Through HOSA, I've been given the opportunity to run countless workshops across New Jersey conferences with thousands of students. When I lead, I don't just hope to stand tall and deliver a powerful speech. I hope to empower. Every time I stand up on the stage in front of the passionate HOSA members and even other leaders from other states, I try to emphasize the importance of making an impact on the people around us, on embracing the moment. I vividly remember 2 years ago when I stood in front of the tall wooden French doors of my congressman's office on Capitol Hill. And we had prepared for weeks. I had my statistics and my objectives and the goal that I wanted to share with my congressman all memorized. But when it came to opening the door, I froze. But I remember my team surrounded around me, telling me, Aryan, you can do this, we believe in you. And this year, when I served as a state president, I was the one teaching my younger teammates as they opened that doorknob to believe in themselves, to trust the process, and to know that they also have the ability to grow and empower others. So in conclusion, I would like to thank the Board of Education for your continued support of career and technical education and student organizations like HOSA, as well as
individual you see before you today. Today, I would like to speak to you about my experience in the Technology Student Association as the organization's president for the state of New Jersey. When I first joined TSA, I was just another student looking to challenge myself with STEM activities. Leadership at that point felt like something far beyond my reach. But when I was first elected as state parliamentarian, everything changed. Suddenly, I wasn't just representing myself, I was representing thousands of students across the state. That realization was intimidating at first, and I remember questioning if I was ready for such responsibility. What I learned, though, is that leadership isn't about having all the answers. It's about listening, adapting, and growing alongside the people you serve. As state president, I've faced challenges I never could have anticipated. Coordinating initiatives with a team of officers and representing over 14,000 students statewide has pushed me out of my comfort zone. Whether it was planning conferences or advocating for the importance of STEM literacy, each experience has taught me that leadership isn't about guiding decisions, it's about amplifying voices. One moment that stands out is when I stood before an audience of hundreds at a state conference to deliver a keynote. Public speaking has always been daunting for me, but in that moment, I wasn't just speaking for myself. I was sharing the collective experiences of every TSA member who had ever found their passion through this organization. The nervousness melted away, replaced by a sense of purpose. TSA has also begun to shape my vision of the future. Through my transformative experiences in this organization, I recognize my passion for having an impact on others as a leader and innovator. As I move forward, I will continue to take initiative in causes that inspire me and fight to empower others. To the educators and policymakers in this room, I want to thank you. Your support for CTSOs like TSA is what enables students like me to grow into leaders and change makers. Because of your commitment, I've learned not just how to lead, but how to lead with purpose. Thank you.
So impressive, so articulate. I also want to recognize two people who were in the audience who I'm sure has made a tremendous difference, not only in going up, but also in pursuing your CTE work. So please, I believe both of your mothers are here today. If you wouldn't mind standing up and being recognized, please.
Very excited that the two of you are built, and I'm feeling so comfortable that the future of New Jersey is in your hands or in the right hands. And so thank you very much for your presentations. Quick question, what's your next step? Both of you seniors, what schools are you going?
I want to go into business economics and public policy. I haven't committed to a college yet. I'm still hearing, but that's kind of my plan.
What's your preferred college? No pressure, just want to.
Well, I don't want to jinx it, but my top schools are UMich and Northwestern University.
Excellent.
So, yes. Thank you.
Hi, so yeah, I'm at a similar state. I want to right now pursue health policy and as well as study kind of behavioral economics and understand kind of the back end and the patient decisions that go into deciding healthcare. So that's what I want to pursue in the future. And yeah, as of right now, I think my top choice would be UC Berkeley in California, but we'll see how it goes.
Right, outstanding schools, for sure. Again, very impressive. Congratulations to you both.
One more round of applause, folks.
Any other board members that I'd like comments?
Well, congratulations to both of you. You were very articulate, very poised, and obviously very confident about what you were speaking about. We, the State Board of Education, commend you for the sincerity with which you participated in your CTE programs and how you've taken full advantage of the opportunities to grow, to learn, to present and represent the other students in your organizations. And so whether it's East Coast, West Coast, all around the town, we know wherever you land, you will land and do well. And we're thankful that the New Jersey education that you've received will propel you on your way. Congratulations.
I too would just like to say how impressed I am with both of you to come here this morning and clearly do an excellent, tremendous job, really representing not only your programs, yourselves, your family, your school districts, but once again showing how great the students are here in New Jersey, allowing us to say we provide one of the best systems in our country. So wish you best of luck in your future endeavors. Thank you. Commissioner?
So I think you all said it very well, and I won't try to say it less well. But one thing, well, first, you're a great public speaker, so you've clearly overcome whatever hesitation you had. But just a reminder, leaders don't know everything, and so it's a two-way street. My team, remember that? They remind me all the time. But that's a really important lesson, and to have learned it at this stage, I think is crucial. I think you both are your future leaders, and that's the fact of the matter. And someday we're all going to be working for you. So congrats on that.
The future is in good hands. I think we can all agree to that. Really very nice job. We know that we would not have exemplary students and exemplary student leaders without great teachers. Today we recognize the partnership of the New Jersey Council of County Vocational and Technical Schools, led by Executive Director Jackie Berg. The council is a nonprofit association created by state law to represent vocational technical school districts in New Jersey's 21 counties. The council supports collaboration among its member school districts, which offer career programs in high-demand fields for over 35,000 career-minded high school students, as well as adults. The council is passionate about inspiring industry leaders to become CTE teachers. The following video exemplifies how CTE teachers lead by example. Before we run the video, I'd like to express our appreciation to the over 100 school districts and county colleges for their continuous work they do to support our CTE teachers and students. I'd like to cue the video.
Go ahead. Oh, let's go. I will leave you back.
If you love what you do, it's never work. You're managing people's education. They're coming into it with nothing, and you want to leave them with everything you can provide for them. I always try to recruit, come to teach with me. If you love what you do, it's never work.
You're managing people's education. They're coming into it with nothing, and you want to leave them with everything you can provide for them.
I always try to recruit, come to teach with me, come and be part of our team, because we truly are a team here, and we take such pride, and we want the students to always succeed.
It's nice to have someone that has experience, because now we can get like real life scenarios, what we should expect. The fact that we have someone just to guide and support us is really nice.
I still do work actively in the nursing field to make sure that I'm retaining my skills.
Speaking with the students, learning from them, learning with them, it really truly is a rewarding experience.
If you love what you do, it's never work.
You're managing people's education. They're coming into it with nothing, and you want to leave them with everything you can provide for them.
I always try to recruit, come to teach with me, come and be part of our team, because we truly are a team here, and we take such pride, and we want the students to always succeed.
Agencies operating an approved CTE program of study are eligible to participate in this program. The legislation outlines specific criteria for recognition eligibility. The department has develop guidelines, upcoming information sessions, and resources to support LEAs with the application submission process. A DOE broadcast containing information for LEAs to participate in this award program will be released later today. Throughout February, the department will post CTE month information on DOE social media platforms, including Facebook, Instagram, and/or X. We encourage secondary and post-secondary CTE districts and colleges to tag the New Jersey Department of Education in their posts for recognition. The department supports CTE through various initiatives that include the Building Capacity for Career Pathways and Comprehensive Schools Grant, Work-Based Learning Coordinator Training, Expanding Career Pathways in Artificial Intelligence Grant, Esports Industry Career Exploration Grant, the Professional Learning Workshop Series, which is going to be announced relatively soon on our calendar of events. The workshops will be provided by one of our vendors, and it was a data-driven strategies to close opportunity gaps in career and technical education. And then finally, industry valued credentials. We have been working very closely with the Department of Labor to develop a process for new industry valued credentials to be offered in our secondary CTE programs. We will continue to support the strategic goals identified in the New Jersey Perkins 5 State Plan to implement and maintain quality programs, work-based learning, career advisement and development, CTE teacher recruitment and retention, and promote opportunity and access for all learners through collaboration and innovation. Thank you so much.
This now concludes our presentation. Let's give one more round of applause to all of those in the audience.
Yes, I had a question. So looking at our numbers, so exciting, 143,000 secondary and post-secondary students involved in CTE in New Jersey. Do we have a projection? Where are we going next year when we read this resolution? What are we projecting for CTE programs? Certainly we need outstanding teachers, but this opportunity is too awesome for our students, all students, not to be able to take advantage of. With the work-based learning initiative, with option 2 for kids to do internships. What is the department's projection of where you think we're going within the next year?
Annually, we do make projections about enrollment increases each year. However, I think it's much more important to ensure that we continue to develop greater demand through communication throughout our districts. We have in each one of our counties superintendent county roundtables where the county superintendent for the OTEC sit at that meeting, and they discuss, share, help others to understand all of the offerings. The work of the Office of Career Readiness is also supportive of expanding all sorts of different program opportunities. The amount of programs that are available in New Jersey is very impressive, as you know. But we're looking at continuing to expand it, especially through into industry sectors that the Department of Labor tells us are burgeoning areas of fields where the demand for the workforce is greatest. And remember, our Perkins 5 state plan requires that these programs of study that are approved through Kathy's office are high skill, high wage, in demand careers, at least throughout the 3 of those. So I think with a combination of making predictions, but also much more importantly, at communicating well throughout the state, what are the available offerings, and encouraging all of those that are currently receiving Perkins funds, which is the federal fund that support CTE programs, but even those that don't and are interested in providing these programs, that they have the wherewithal to do so and the supports from the state in order to implement those programs.
Dr. Rick, I see your hand is up.
Thank you, Vice President, and thanks to everybody, particularly the students who presented this morning. Outstanding presentation, and I think very, very Prescient, you know, when we talk about career technical education, we talk about the opportunities that we're trying to offer, and thank you for drawing attention, Dr. Schiff, to the fact that this is a great shared service opportunity for local school districts who are willing to partner to perhaps offer these types of opportunities that might be separate and apart from what can be experienced at the traditional vocational technical school experience as well. The market is absolutely ripe for opportunity and partnership and bringing students forward who are interested in progressing into vocation. It also provides an opportunity for credit acquisition at community colleges, as you mentioned. And I think New Jersey is at the tip of the spear in many ways in being able to look for innovative ways to break down red tape and get students into these opportunities as quickly as possible. So I just want to commend the department and thank you, everybody, again, for all the work that you're doing. It is unfortunate that we dismantled career technical education in public schools probably 20, 25 years ago and made a shift there. But the truth is, and the reality is, the careers that are available now would have required a rebuilding anyway. So I think it's a great opportunity, and I just want to, again, thanks to you and thanks to the department for putting it on everybody's radar and continuing to make these opportunities available at the local level too.
Thank you. Board Member Huntington.
Thank you for the presentation. It's really exciting work. At our previous board meeting, our student representative Anna presented thoughts from students on the development of AI within instruction and within programs. And it'd be exciting to know how AI is being integrated, particularly within the CTE programs. I'm sure you don't have the answer in your back pocket, but maybe in a future presentation, it'd be important, it'll be exciting, I should say, to learn more how AI is being integrated again across the various programs, particularly related to CTE programming.
And we actually do have 2 notice and grant opportunities that we recently put out to the field. One was for innovation, where districts were encouraged to really stretch the ideas and become a center of excellence in the area of AI integration in classroom experience. That's one. And the other is for a workforce development in CTE programs for AI in particular and in the campus.
Yes, absolutely. So we had 2 vocational school districts that received an award, which we call AI and CTE, which they will develop a program working with an institution of higher education alongside an industry partner that has a specialization in artificial intelligence. So they're going to develop a 3-course sequence of curriculum for expanding this program into other schools. And Middlesex County Magnet School, who's here today, is one of the recipients of that grant.
Very exciting, and when the programs further develop, Superintendent Diaz, look forward to some updates in the future, so thank you.
And thank you. So just to wrap it up, not only do we have these 2 grants, we just talked about AI, I mentioned previously that the Securing Our Children's Future Bond Act, and I kind of made a joke about this passed in, I think, 2018, but now we're talking about the expansion of programs in our schools. Those schools are being built and they're coming online, and it's giving capacity to our county vocational technical schools to increase, and the design of this was actually to increase those high demand areas. And so this was laser focused on expanding opportunities for our kids in those key areas. So it's really exciting to start to see these things come online and continue to grow these programs. Dr. Rick, I think you made a good point about how these jobs are changing and we need to evolve with them so that our students are coming out of our schools ready to hit the ground running on day 1, and that includes learning things like AI, etc. So this is an ongoing thing, and we will continue to improve as we go along. So thanks again. We're ready to move into items for consideration, and the first item are our standing item for appointments. We do not have any appointments this month, so that. The second item is a certification of school districts. Again, long-standing item. And there are no districts for certification this month, so we'll move on to item C. And this is a resolution to accept donated funds. So we're pleased to announce that the Renaissance Women's Club has donated $500 to support the health and safety needs of the students at the Katzenbach School for the Deaf. So we have a resolution to accept those funds. Any questions for Dr.
Nice.
Kathy and
May I have a motion for approval? Second?
Second.
Being properly moved and second, call for a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? Motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vice President. Moving on to item D, for school district operation proposal. Today I present at proposal level the amendments of Chapter 32, School District Operations. This chapter is intended to assist boards of education and school district administrators in the daily operation of schools and school districts. Mr. Louis Duckett and Mr. Robert Gregory are joining us now to walk through the latest and various updates in this chapter.
Thank you, Commissioner. Good morning, Mr. Vice President, esteemed members of the State Board. Just as a reminder, the Department proposed amendments at Chapter 32 School District Operation is driven by Statute 18A 36 33.2, which allows a public school student in grades 6 through 12 to have one state excused absence each year to attend a civic event. The department proposed its definition for civic events mirrors what's in 18A. The department also proposed to add a number 7 to the list of state excused absences to allow for participation in civic events once a year for students in grades 6 through 12. The department received comments for 4 commenters since second discussion that are summarized in a comment and response form available on today's agenda. 2 in support and 2 against. 1 commenter in support is a student that benefited from participating in civic engagement events in the community and was happy to see that students were provided the same opportunity. While there were 2 comments in opposition, only 1 provided a reason why, in which the commenter stated that there is already room for students to participate in civic events should their parents desire. Thus, they felt that this amendment was unnecessary. Just to reinforce, this is to align the chapter to the state statute adopted in January of 2024. Therefore, the amendments are necessitated. And at this point, Executive Director Gregory and I are here to answer any questions that you may have.
Any questions from the board? Seeing none, I'd like to call for a motion. Need a second? Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Abstentions? Okay, thank you. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to agenda item E, standard assessments. Today I present the readoption of amendments to the rules of Chapter 8, which is called Standards and Assessment. This chapter is a cornerstone of our educational framework, and it ensures there's alignment between local curriculum instruction and the New Jersey's student learning standards, along with our state assessment system. These rules are set to expire in May 2025, so we've been hard at work looking at all the opportunities we have to find its impact and revisions to make sure that it's responsive to the needs of our students today and our educators. The goal of this is clear: to continue providing a strong, cohesive framework that supports high-quality education while maintaining a statewide assessment system that measures student achievement effectively. So thank you for joining us again, Dr. Schiff and Lisa Abreu, the Executive Director. They're going to walk you through the amendments that we have today and answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Commissioner. Good morning again, Vice President Johnson and members of the State Board of Education. We are pleased to join you this morning to share with you the Department's proposals for amendments to New Jersey Administrative Code, Chapter 6A:8. This chapter, which implements the New Jersey Student Learning Standards and the statewide assessment system, is scheduled to expire on May 3rd, 2020.
We would like to center our discussion today on the introduction and purpose of the chapter, then speak broadly about the larger goals intended to be met through the proposed amendments. We will then walk through each subchapter and explore the proposals in greater detail, providing justification for the changes. We will preserve time at the end to ensure we can respond to any questions you may have.
Chapter 8 is designed broadly to set guidelines for the design and delivery of curriculum and instruction in New Jersey public schools. It outlines expectations for academic content across subjects, with a strong focus on developing college and career readiness. The chapter emphasizes critical thinking, problem solving, and technology integration in teaching. It mandates districts align curriculum, assessment, and instruction, ensuring high-quality academic opportunities and experiences for all students. Regulations also define how state assessments are used to measure progress and evaluate school performance.
As part of this readoption of Chapter 8, the Department proposes amendments to streamline and clarify rules, procedures, and operations, and update terminology and rules to align to provisions throughout Title 6A of the New Jersey Administrative Code, Title 18A of the New Jersey Statutes, the Elementary and Secondary Education Act, and the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. The Department also proposes throughout the chapter to delete rules that were effective during a limited time frame or reference defunct programs. This revision also highlights a focus on enhancing the alignment of instruction to student needs, ensuring instructional programs are designed and delivered to serve all students and meet their unique needs. There is a proposed emphasis on increasing access to advanced coursework and underscoring the development of civic responsibility and information literacy.
Additional overarching goals for the proposed amendments include a sharper focus on preparing students for the modern workplace. The proposed revisions strengthen career readiness through a focus on career counseling, work-based learning, and dual enrollment programs. The proposed amendments also provide clarity around authentic learning experiences and individual student learning opportunities. Proposed amendments throughout the chapter highlight continuous improvement. This includes the introduction of accountability measures like corrective action plans for noncompliance with the New Jersey Student Learning Standards, which we will discuss in a few moments. We include professional development focusing on evidence-based instructional practice and meeting the diverse needs of our learners. There is also a proposed focus on using disaggregated data to monitor and improve student outcomes across various student groups in alignment with the Elementary and Secondary Education Act requirements.
We would like to transition now into specific revisions to each of the subchapters. We begin with subchapter 1, General Provisions. There are updates to both priorities and to terminology. For example, you will note a shift from the language of 21st century skills to post-secondary success, as the 21st century implies future readiness, but we are well into the 21st century, and these skills are current and essential. Maintaining the phrase may suggest that these skills are novel or aspirational, rather than foundational skills that are immediately necessary for post-secondary success. Similarly, there are a number of terminology updates where we replaced outdated terms, such as indicators, to performance expectations for clarity and alignment with our current standards and guidance. We are pleased to propose a stronger focus on civic engagement, ensuring students develop an understanding of their roles and responsibilities in a democratic society. And lastly, information literacy, which captures the knowledge and skills for locating, evaluating, and using information effectively. Recent state legislation required the development of academic standards and instruction on this most critical topic.
New terms have been introduced to the chapter, while others have been amended or deleted. We will highlight a few of the most significant The department proposes to add the term contextual learning as an update to the phrase 21st century skills. Contextual learning develops skills similar to previously identified as 21st century skills, such as problem solving, collaboration, and technical proficiency, but highlights the importance of providing learning experiences that are relevant and meaningful to students. Corrective action plan was added as the term is proposed in subchapter 3, which we will explore in a few moments. And evidence-based science courses will be used in subchapter 5 to replace laboratory inquiry-based science courses, which is proposed for deletion. This change, in turn, reflects the significant changes in the discipline. Evidence-based science courses emphasize the use of empirical evidence and the practices of science, which can occur in various settings beyond just laboratories, such as field studies, computational modeling, or classroom experiments. Laboratory-based science courses may suggest a narrower focus on traditional lab environments and activities, potentially excluding other valuable scientific practices. Modern science often relies on technologies and methodologies that extend beyond physical laboratories, such as data analysis, virtual simulations, and community-based research. Evidence-based aligns with the contemporary practices, while laboratory-based is slightly outdated and somewhat restrictive. We propose to add the term information literacy pursuant to an information literacy education law that was passed in 2023.
The department proposes to amend the definition of portfolio appeals process by expanding the techniques and instruments to include, but not be limited to, the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery, Armed Forces Qualifying Test, the AFQT, Commissioner-identified industry-valued credential attainment, and work-based learning experiences. The department proposes to include the instruments and experiences as examples for students to demonstrate proficiency for graduation. Through this provision, the department will allow students with a qualifying ASVAB score to complete a streamlined portfolio appeals process to qualify for graduation. Please note that the traditional portfolio appeals process will also still be available.
The department also proposes to amend the definition of substitute competency test by removing the phrase, quote, for students in the classes of 2018 through 2022 to ensure the pathway remains for students. We also propose to delete the ASVAB because it is proposed as a component of a new pathway within the portfolio appeal process, as was noted on the previous slide. We also seek to replace the term structured learning experience with work-based learning to align the chapter with the New Jersey Perkins 5 state plan.
In Section 2, the New Jersey Student Learning Standards, the department seeks to codify the practice of integrating statutorily mandated New Jersey Student Learning Standards-based requirements adopted between revision cycles into the next scheduled standards revision.
Subchapter 3 has several proposals we would like to explore with you. The first is the introduction of transparency requirements. This will require districts to make their curricula publicly accessible to families and communities. We also wanted to increase student access to advanced coursework. This involves a greater emphasis on providing diverse educational programs, including advanced placement, dual enrollment, and career and technical education programs in the district's course offerings. There is a highlight on developing curriculum, which includes adjustments to address the needs of all learners, including multilingual learners, students with disabilities, and gifted students. Attention is also given to professional learning. In the training offered to educators related to the standards, we seek a strong focus on evidence-based instruction, data-driven instructional practices, and supporting diverse learners' needs. Lastly, the department is introducing corrective action plans. This is a new process which ensures districts must address noncompliance with the implementations required in collaboration with and support from the department.
We introduced a new definition in subchapter 1 and now highlight two-way bilingual immersion as an allowable standards-aligned program in subchapter 3. These are programs where all students, not only multilingual learners, develop world language skills through immersive instruction. Such models throughout New Jersey have been designated as exemplary world language programs. Based on feedback from districts attempting to start these programs, the department has highlighted this option in Chapter 8 to clarify that they can be implemented separately from bilingual education program requirements that are found in Chapter 15, which are designated for multilingual learners.
In subchapter 4, we would like to reframe the purpose of our statewide assessment system. The purpose is to measure student progress towards the New Jersey student learning standards and ensure accountability. The updated provision include alignment with federal requirements like ESEA and the inclusion of alternative assessments for students with significant intellectual disabilities. We added language to provide clarity regarding grade level assessment requirements in alignment with federal and state laws. We also wanted to highlight data utilization and the requirement for districts to complete disaggregated data analysis to monitor efficacy of the programs and inform curriculum improvements.
The department has proposed increased flexibility within the science credit graduation requirements to include courses that address all of the science disciplines found within the standards. This confers many benefits to our students, including more well-rounded understanding of how these fields interconnect, reflecting the interdisciplinary nature of real-world science. Shifting to this model will encourage students to apply their knowledge to real-world phenomena and challenges, fostering critical thinking, problem-solving, and innovation. This approach prepares students for the current demands of higher education and careers, particularly in STEM fields. In addition, the explicit emphasis on technology and engineering in science education not only aligns with the standards, but also ensures students are prepared for industries increasingly driven by technological advancements and design thinking processes. This more closely mirrors how scientists, engineers, and technologists actually work in real world and helps students see the connections between different areas of science. While districts may continue to offer their traditional science courses, this proposal seeks to encourage and support districts to design more relevant and authentic coursework to better engage and prepare students. Districts may elect to design courses that are based on phenomena in their local communities, such as a course exploring the Raritan Bay and its entire watershed. A course like this may be designed to meet select earth and space science standards addressing the hydrogeology of the region, physical science standards for the chemistry of ocean acidification, and life science standards exploring marine ecosystems. In the current model, this content would likely exist in 3 separate and distinct courses. This proposed revision encourages districts to consider taking steps to more strategically assemble the science standards into new course permutations that allow students to see the standards in the context of the real world and not in isolation. We do acknowledge that this will involve close collaboration with our higher education partners to ensure that students are not excluded from college programs due to misconceptions about course content and titles. We have strong university partners involved in many of our grant programs that we believe can continue to offer us insights to prepare for a smooth transition into college programs if our students elect that path.
Subchapter 5 features the implementation of graduation requirements. A significant proposal includes the addition of rules around the individualized student learning opportunities, commonly known as Option 2. Despite its inclusion in code for over a decade, its use is not well documented, and the department regularly receives inquiries, often reflecting conflicts in local interpretations of the rules. The proposed revisions include clarifications around most commonly posed questions and reference requirements across other administrative code chapters, such as the requirement for certified staff and maintaining student safety. Some flexibilities, such as internships, apprenticeships, service learning, career and technical education, and ESL courses are made explicit with clear requirements for implementation to assure alignment with the graduation requirements.
Additional proposals to subchapter 5 include language that requires students in the graduating classes of 2025, 2026, and 2027 to complete a financial aid application for high school graduation in a form prescribed by the Higher Education Students Assistance Authority. This form includes, but is not limited to, the free application for federal student aid, the FAFSA, or the New Jersey Alternative Financial Aid Application, will be exempted from the requirement in accordance with the procedures set forth at PL 2023 Chapter 295. The proposed rule will align the section with the recent law. The chapter was also revised to remove outdated graduation cohort references and the specific assessment requirements for each. Another proposed revision makes the substitute competency assessment menu, for example, the ACT and the SAT, permanent by removing references to the specific graduating classes. Several proposals are also introduced regarding the state seal by literacy, which ensure the inclusion of the seal on student transcripts for those students who have attained this designation. There is also flexibility added for the assessments that can be used to demonstrate proficiency in languages, expanding options for both students and schools.
Lastly, we would like to call your attention to the proposed extraction of content from subchapter 3 for inclusion in a new subchapter 6, Pathways to Post-Secondary Success. The inclusion of guidance and academic counseling in the existing section about the implementation of the New Jersey Student Learning Standards limited the complementary but distinct role of counseling in a school setting. The creation of a new subchapter will highlight the unique aspects of school counseling within a student's educational experience and develop as much of the work often as in development as much of this work lives outside of the implementation of New Jersey State Learning Standards. This now concludes our presentation, and we are available to answer any questions that you may have.
I apologize if this was covered, but I agree it wasn't clear. So I just want to go back to page 14 with the science credit graduation requirements. Would CTE courses, and you knew I was going to ask that question. Thank you for asking that. So will any CTE courses have the opportunity to get covered by science? I'm just thinking somebody who's doing plumbing, they could throw some physics in there, chemistry.
This was actually designed not only for CTE programs that typically are really looking at flexibility and innovation, but other schools as well. So a lot of this is driven by how complex and interconnected science system is. And by providing additional flexibility, we feel that districts can be even more innovative, that some of the courses that in CTE superintendents and guidance directors are questioning, does this fulfill those requirements? It provides them with the cover and with the flexibility in order to do so. The challenge is going to be working with our higher ed partners and ensuring that some of these new courses that are going to be developed fulfill certain prerequisite requirements, because not everyone's going to be taking the traditional biology, chemistry courses. Now they'll have additional flexibilities.
So the short answer is yes.
Yes.
Thank you for committing. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions, comments? Rico.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President, and thanks again, Dr. Schiff and to the team. The first thing I need to do is seriously offer a lot of gratitude. I was screaming and yelling about the Armed Services pathway to graduation for students who wish to serve in the military, and to see that the Department of Education has called that out as a pathway, and actually I think strengthen the roadmap for those students who this is their goal and the mission that they see in their professional career. I think is really something that we should all applaud. I really also appreciate all of the advocacy that came from the field, including superintendents of schools, guidance counselors, classroom teachers, parents, and guardians. So thank you very much for bringing that forward, as well as creating a robust system where now students will be able to in conjunction with their parents and guardians, in conjunction with their counselors, really map out a pathway to success that is far more varied and really does bring a great deal more opportunity that existed, for instance, on a dinosaur when I went to school. So thanks for that. Thanks for all that hard work. I know it wasn't a heavy lift. I know how much you had to go back and forth with the federal government. I know how much you had to really figure out a new way, and just wanted to express my appreciation there as well.
I just want to thank you, Dr. Ricker, that your leadership on this as well kept this squarely planted in our radar. You've been extremely helpful along the way. I think that's one of the first things that landed on my desk, so to speak, when I came into this role, and we've been hard at work at it. I think we've got a really solid proposal here, and I think it works. And to your point, not only is this a workable solution, I think it strengthens what we had previously. So I think now seeing this come into fruition is a sign of all the collaborative work that went into this. So thank you for your leadership on this as well.
Board Member Barron.
Yes, Thank you. I'm excited about the ASVAB piece as well. I'd like to talk a little bit about the option 2. I think that's been underutilized. Is there any data on how many schools avail themselves of option 2? How we grow that? Because today we saw these exciting young people with their CTE background. That opportunity for young people to do internships, to find out things that they really are committed to. How are we growing option 2 within our school districts?
We did have a study a few years ago on option 2, and it was voluntary that districts would share, and we didn't really receive a great deal of information. But what we hear from the field are particular questions about, can this teacher be part of this? How does this interact and intersect with the standards? Our intent here was to put some very clear pathways into this is how you can implement option 2. And we think that as we continue to talk about these type of options, and option 2 for the public is a different way of earning college credits. It's kind of outside of the norm. Independent study has been option 2 kind of identified, and there's been other creative ways to provide unique experiences for students. But by codifying it in code the way that we're doing it, rather than the very brief citation that's currently in the code, I think will provide the necessary guardrails and flexibilities for a district to be able to implement it without a lot of concern. But I think, to your general point about how do we kind of advertise and say this is available, this is here, this is what's going on. We can talk about that type of public push that we can do once we see that we have code that is approved by the state.
Board Member Monte?
I just also want to recognize and show appreciation for all the great work that you've done here. This was a really comprehensive review of those assessments, and so congratulations on all the great work. I'm particularly excited about subchapter 3 and the inclusion of these opportunities for career counseling, dual enrollment, work-based learning, and certainly particularly interested in dual enrollment and giving students opportunities to earn college credits and hopefully result in more students pursuing opportunities to go to college and keep their costs down. So congratulations on all the great work.
Thank you. We continue to work with our partners at the Office of the Secretary of Higher Education to try to provide opportunities for colleges and universities to engage in these agreements so that dual enrollment can be available as broadly as possible.
One of the things that we talked about at the committee level was, option 2, and the conversations when that was first proposed way back talked about a possible shift from just seat time to actual activity-based. Any feedback? Is that going to be something that we ask for feedback on?
It's intended to provide additional flexibilities, but I'll defer to Executive Director for additional.
Dr. Schiff mentioned the study that was conducted, and we have very little visibility into these programs. And I do believe that if these rules are adopted, that we really wouldn't be working closely with stakeholders to see what this looks like and to see how they've been imagining these programs to get a more accurate reflection before we develop guidance. And so,
Thank you. Any other questions? Seeing none. I would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge that February is Black History Month and that our schools throughout the state are celebrating. I've been personally invited to several schools to share in those celebrations, and I also commend our Amistad Commission as well as all of our other commissions that have worked on Amistad in particular since 2002 to actually infuse the history of Africans and African Americans into the day-to-day curriculum, not just in history and social studies, but across the curriculum to give, reverence and due diligence to the contributions that people of color have made over the course of our history here in the United States. I'm not going to say too much. I'm not going to say anything more because I don't want it to go into anything beyond. But I'm going to enjoy those visits, always do. Being a former history teacher, that is something that is a passion for me. So thank you. Any other comments? Seeing none at this point, may I please have a motion? Motion and second. Thank you for this morning, working with me at my first go around with this. Thank everyone for attending. See you next month. Thank you.